Referee Rick Knox holding up the AEW World Tag Team Championship. It's a big match feel. For the third time ever, the Young Bucks and FTR go head to head. The third. Who is gonna take it all home as Dax Harwood and Nick Jackson kick off this tag team bout, and they get right into the nitty gritty, tie up collar and elbow. Getting a feel for each other. These two teams know each other so well after their many encounters over the years. In what once upon a time seemed like a dream match, a dream feud prior to All Elite Wrestling, all came to fruition. Their first match back in 2020 at Full Gear, when the Young Bucks would defeat FTR to win the AEW World Tag Team titles for the first time. Now it's Cash Wheeler who's going to tag in this match. And again, Cash Wheeler looking to out-muscle Nick Jackson. And just ramming through Nick. Up and over. Trying to tee over. But instead, it's Nick Jackson who gets the hip toss and follows up with a scoop slam on Cash Wheeler. Now just yanking on the arm. Now it's the first tag in the match for the Young Bucks as Matt Jackson goes off the top going after the arm that was being held by Nick Jackson. We've seen Instant Classic after Instant Classic, their second match being a non-title back on Dynamite last year, where FTR would even the score to make it one apiece. Hence this being the rubber match to take it all home. However, the thing about this match is the AEW World Tag Team titles are on the line. Seemed that FTR were looking for a double suplex, but it gets stopped. And now hammering away. And now it's Cash and Nick realizing that they were going to just start going at it. And now all sorts of chaos ensues as all four men go down in the ring. There has been no advantage to be built. Nobody's surpassing the other, getting closer to the finish line. It all seems to be, you're going to do this, we're just going to respond with that. And the Young Bucks clothesline FTR to the outside onto the floor. Now that could be the beginning of the difference maker in this matchup. Tag is made back to Nick Jackson by Matt Jackson. Up and over. We've seen this time. And see ya. Jumps up and over. And a spear by Matt Jackson. The Young Bucks are so quick. Hitting all the highlights. And speaking of a highlight reel, up and over the top corkscrew. Laying out FTR is Nick Jackson, should I say. The younger of the two Young Bucks. A beautiful corkscrew perfectly crashing into Dax and Cash. Up and over. Springs up. Oh, what a super kick, catching Cash flush on the skull. The Young Bucks could be finding their groove right now. And a swanton. And stuck it and nailed it, but not quite enough to put Cash away. As Dax starts to pull himself back up and back in the corner. The FTR does have champion's advantage in this tag team match, being they are the champions heading into this bout, and countouts, disqualifications. If the match reaches the time limit, the titles will leave with FTR. As driving the elbow and just mocking the legendary excellence of execution, the Hitman. It's very well noted the respect and the friendship that FTR have with Bret Hart. Trying to inch towards Dax, but Cash so close, but just not there. And Nick is there. However, Cash went to go for a sunset flip cover on Matt, not realizing that Nick Jackson had tagged in to become the legal man in this match, invalidating that pinfall attempt on Matt Jackson. The thing you have to notice about the Young Bucks is they're really keeping it on the ball with constant tags, keeping the fresh man in the match. Trying to fight off both members of the Young Bucks. And a nice backdrop suplex taking down Matt Jackson. Will Cash be able to follow up? Can he get there? One for a super kick attempt. Not today. Dax was not about it as Dax and Nick Jackson fight at it. And kicks back. Oh, but a super kick by Matt Jackson. As Dax gets taken out. Cash Wheeler was this close to making the tag. Roll up, wait. No. Went for a super kick. Tried to play it, and Cash Wheeler flinched just as Matt Jackson was hoping for and went for a DDT instead. And still not enough to keep down Cash Wheeler. This is as good as it gets when it comes to tag team wrestling. It's classic. At its best, this is what tag team wrestling is all about. Nobody home when it comes to Cash Wheeler, but the Enziguri hit his own brother, Nick Jackson, hitting Matt Jackson only to fall into a brutalizing uppercut from Cash Wheeler as Cash in a must-needed tag to get to Dax Harwood in the corner. Can he get there? Meanwhile, Matt Jackson's in, and here we go. Dax the Axe is in the ring, and he's clubbing away at Matt Jackson, but here comes Nick Jackson. It's a tee-off party. What a snap suplex as Dax Harwood tees off on both members of the Young Bucks. A true tea party here in London. German suplex. Dax Harwood showing true waist control as he continues to hold on with each German suplex. And again, once more, holds on. Nice standing switch, one for back elbow. Matt turned it into a Northern Lights. You've seen this before. Likes to keep it going and flowing with that repeated Northern Lights suplex. Trying to block the suplex. And he does and turns it into another German. And a standing switch. And that last Northern Lights. Oh, I was going to say it's the last, but maybe not, as these two still try to out wrestle each other. Standing switch. Switch for switch. Roll through cradle, inside cradle, inside cradle. No, not quite enough, as Rick Knox saying it's only a 2 count. Roll up. Could be enough. Springs off into a crossbody on Matt Jackson, who's able to levy out of it at 2. And flipped over onto his feet from the last attempt at the German suplex, and used all of his force to drive a Northern Lights suplex. However, Dax is doing everything he can to hold on into this guillotine position. England is all about it, all about professional wrestling. Fans who have traveled all over the world, over 70 countries are represented by the AEW fans in attendance. 80,000 plus in attendance, as Nick Jackson measuring up Dax Harwood, looking to cash in, but there's no cash reward. Bouncing up, but never mind, rolls through. Dax now rolls through, perhaps thinking sharpshooter. Nick Jackson able to block it. Sia gets the enziguri up and through, springs up, but gets caught. And speaking of springing up and driving a power bomb, however, capitalizing crucifix pin combo there from Matt Jackson. And now it's Dax Harwood looking for a sharpshooter to put away Matt Jackson. Dax Harwood trying to put all this. Nope, never mind. Nick Jackson tried to springboard into Dax, but Cash Wheeler was right there to stop it. And it's a double sharpshooter. It could be game over for the Young Bucks. Oh! Oh my God. Just the way that Nick Jackson broke free. And planting Dax Harwood face first. And a moonsault taking out Cash Wheeler on the floor. Nick Jackson is just way too quick. Quick and slick. The Young Bucks looking for their right to claim to be three-time AEW World Tag Team Champions. It's one apiece in the ever-going feud between AEW's finest tag teams in the Young Bucks and FTR. As Nick Jackson has Dax Harwood up at the top. A very precarious situation. This is where you really enter the danger zone. Perhaps going into FTR's playbook. Can he get there? Got the knees up. Both got the knees up. Matt and Cash both eating some knees. Nick drives Cash over the top. Unfortunately, that backfired, and a backslide by Dax Harwood. Was thinking a pile driver, but gets countered with a roundhouse kick up and over. Rolling through is Dax Harwood. Oh my God. Thinking a spike pile driver. This has worked time and time again, but no, Nick Jackson just barely getting the shoulder up before 3. What an unbelievable contest we are witnessing. Who knew after the last 2 classics these two teams have put on that they could go that much further? As we are in the deep waters of this contest, this is where it's the true time to shine. The true testament of willpower, of fortitude. Who is going to go the extra mile? Perhaps thinking Shatter Machine. Shatter! But Matt Jackson just decking in a Cash Wheeler. Dax could put away. Had it tight. That looked familiar. Perhaps something that looks recognizable many moons ago in an infamous match that took place in this very stadium between Davey Boy Smith and Bret Hart. Ducked. Oh, and now it's Dax who accidentally hits Cash. And Nick Jackson looking to capitalize with a backslide, but what a super kick. Oh, and a super kick to the side of the head. Good night. Thanks for coming. The Bucks could be looking to pull the playbook. And now they pull it out. Could it be enough? And Dax stays alive. Just when you think FTR is out, you can't let it go. They won't let the tag team titles go. These two ever so matched are the Young Bucks and FTR, time and time again taking each other to the limit. You don't get tag team action like this anywhere else. Oh. And a suicide dive. Nick Jackson taken out. Cash Wheeler, meanwhile, in the ring. Matt Jackson nearly putting away Dax Harwood to take home the tag team titles for the Young Bucks. But not today. At least not yet, that is. There is still fight to fight. Dax is still showing signs. However, oh no. BTE trigger, but Dax ducks, and the knees connect to the Young Bucks, and spearing through the metal rope. Cash Wheeler rails through Nick Jackson. And now Dax tags in Cash. Matt is all alone. The FTR trigger. And good night, Shatter Machine. And the champions will return. Not today. Matt Jackson will not die. I don't know where Matt Jackson just pulled that out of. Let's get another look at this. Shatter Machine, full blown, full effect, full contact, but Matt Jackson on pure willpower, on pure faith. Was thinking the springboard, but a super kick to the side of the head of Matt Jackson. Now here comes Nick Jackson. Up. And Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson both go to the floor. What are we about to see? Was thinking 450. Don't see that often from Cash. And the super kick catches the money. Does this spot look familiar? It was giving shades of Full Gear 2020, looking all too familiar. It was that same foot of Matt Jackson. However, he pushed through it then. Can the Young Bucks do it now? Matt Jackson doing what he can to shake off the pain in that left leg, as the Young Bucks look to put the final nail in the coffin. And the BTE trigger and new tag. No. When there is a will, there is a way. And this match is nothing short of a magical event. The adrenaline runs through the veins. And Dax Harwood knows. It's one of those moments where you just feel it in your gut, and that no matter what happens, the moment you turn around, you're going to run into a shatter machine. And now Cash Wheeler all alone, and a second BTE trigger now. What? You gotta be kidding me. My eyes are wide. Absolutely a heart-stopping moment. The world just stopped and stared as it seemed the tag team titles were on their way to enter into the grasps of the Young Bucks, but not yet, as Cash Wheeler lives to continue to fight with whatever he has left. Meltzer driver, not today. Shatter machine. 1, 2, and 3. FTR are still the AEW World Tag Team Champions. What a turn of events. What a match. Hell and back that FTR and the Young Bucks took each other to. There was no way of calling exactly how this match was going to end, but there's one thing for sure and for certain right now, is that FTR has a true claim to being the greatest tag team, not just of this generation, but of all time. With another victory over the Young Bucks, it is 2-1. With the name set in stone, and one of the largest crowds in history, in front of 80,000 plus, FTR have bested the Young Bucks here in Wembley Stadium.